President Trump digging in, saying he will keep the government shut down until he gets his border wall. Roll tape.
I can tell you it's not going to be open until we have a wall, a fence, whatever they'd like to call it. I'll call it whatever they want. But it's all the same thing. It's a barrier from people pouring into our country.
Now, he made these comments on the same day an 8-year-old boy died in U.S. custody at the border. I want to bring in Nelson Balido. He's the Border and Commerce Security Council. And Nelson, of course, listen, we know it's a tough issue all around, and it gets even tougher when there's the death of a child that's being reported. Where are we right now with respect to the border, and just does this actually increase the necessity of greater controls down at the southern border?
Good morning, Charles. Merry Christmas. And, you know, it does. I'll tell you, we need to look at ways to discourage folks to continue to come over that border. What's happening today is you have the president is holding the line, right? He's saying, I need $5 billion for border wall. I think that's become more of a catchphrase for border security in general. I mean, personnel, technology, parts of the wall that we do need a physical barrier, and others that we absolutely just need to update. But in looking at discouraging people coming over the border, we need to look also at the laws. You know, 2,000 people crossing the border as family units a year ago, and now it's 30,000 a month, right? So from 2,000 a month to 30,000 a month, what are we doing to discourage that? We need to look at the law, and we obviously need to have border security, right, to discourage other folks from coming over that border. You know,
it feels to me, you know, there's so many efforts on our country to maybe woo these sort of numbers that you're talking about, suggestions that, hey, if you can just get 1 foot across the line, you're in. You can get into the system. You know, that you've got it made. And I don't think that the people doing that, maybe their intentions are legitimately honest intentions, are doing anyone a favor. The folks that they're asking to make these dangerous efforts to get to this country illegally, and suggesting that once they do, that all will be well. How can the country make it easier for the legal immigration process, because that might take some of the strain off of all of this?
Well, what they need to do is first close the loopholes, right? And then you address how you legally come over. When you have the open borders that we have today in the sense of asylum seekers, you have these cartel members south of the border actively recruiting folks to come over at an average of about $5,000 to $6,000 per person to come over. So they deposit you on our borders. They're not looking to evade our Border Patrol. In fact, they turn themselves in. In fact, that's what's happened with this, you know, poor child that lost their lives. And certainly our hearts and minds go out to their families of anyone that this happens to on the border. But what's not being told is the countless number of what our Border Patrol agents lives they save every day, right? We're talking for folks that are drowning on the river, where they throw themselves in the river to save their lives, folks that are stranded in the mountains, stranded in the desert, that are evacuated by helicopters. These agents are going out there and saving lives. That's what they do. There's no conspiracy to do anything other than that, to get these folks, arrest them, process them, but also they're saving their lives. But that happens because we're not discouraging border crossing, either through border security or the laws that need to be put in place to discourage this plight from Central and South America to the tune of thousands of people on a daily basis.
Well, it certainly is a crisis. Nelson, thank you very much. Always appreciate it when you come on.
Thank you, Charles.